So hi everyone,
So,
welcome. So I have another lady on who just wants to tell you a little bit about how she got on with her program. And again, this is coming from a very different perspective. So it's gut health, which Annmarie managed really, really well. But again, going into we're starting to find the root cause of what was happening for her, and we came into mold toxicity, which I think is really important that people understand. So thank you, Annmarie. Welcome for coming on.
thank you.
So, Annmarie, would you mind just telling people about, I guess, one, why did you come looking for help in the first place? What was happening for you?
I was convinced that there was something wrong. I'm like, I have an allergy, and I kept taking antihistamines, and I knew I was like, this is not going to do me good. So maybe it's something wrong with me gut. I have to find out. So I went along to yourself and started medication for my gut. I knew I didn't really eat healthy, to be honest. So I'm like, okay, this is really serious. I need to sort it out. So I started eating proper foods and stuff, looking after myself, taking the herbal tablets. And this went on for a few weeks. And I noticed my gut was starting to get better, but the allergy was just still there. And I'm like, it's something else. What else am I? It's like, it's not dairy, it's not gluten, it can't be anything else. I've given up chocolates, I've given up everything.
Like
And
if
then,
before we go into that, if we go back just to explain to people, because you threw everything into the basket from the
yeah,
very beginning, like you worked really, really hard, Annmarie, and you were seeing benefits very early
yeah,
on.
yeah, my gut and my skin and all, everyone was like, oh, you're starting to look well. And my face was always swollen. I felt swollen, but I felt then it was thinning out, but I felt like it was like water, I had lots of water, even though I could weigh myself and I'm like, I'm at the losing weight. I don't understand how I feel skinny in my clothes and stuff. But yeah, I'm the same way. And I'm still eating, but it was different foods I was eating then.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably water retention and stuff that I was holding on to. It just seemed to go. And yeah, I felt a lot better. But still I was like, I'm just so tired all the time. And I'm getting loads of rest. I'm drinking loads of water. I mean, it feels there's something else wrong. So that's when I was like, what do we do next? Because this is going on too long.
Yeah, because
And
we looked, because you, as I said, you did everything had come round quite right for you in a lot of areas, but that
yeah,
fatigue was still there that we couldn't get to figure out. And we don't want to go into any details because we're,
yeah,
confidentiality, but you've had a lot of trauma in your life, right?
yeah,
Which can hugely impact our gut health because with the nervous and gut brain. But for
yeah,
you, you had already done so much work on that over the years.
yeah,
I could clearly see that wasn't impacting for you. There was
yeah,
something else going on. So I suppose the more we looked at things, kind of when we looked and talked about testing and functional testing,
yeah.
you kind of decided where you wanted to go with that and that you wanted to look a little bit further in. Because you had done a lot of testing in Western medicine, really, hadn't you, for the last, how
Yeah.
long were you going in and out of doctors and tests for?
Um, Maybe a year, 9 months to a year. And this was all like, every test you could think of. And I'm like, it must be my heart or something because I can't be this tired. Go and get heart tests, go to a doctor, pay loads of money. Yeah, go and get a test. No, you're perfect. Your kidneys are perfect. Your liver is perfect. Your bloods are perfect. I'm like, I can't be this tired. It's not normal. I was never that tired. That's why I was assuming it's something else. You were saying it has to be something
Really,
exterior.
yeah, the environment, we really were looking at everything in your home life, your work
Yeah.
life, trying to figure out what possibly could be,
I was
and
just convinced. It wasn't until, do you remember I went away for a few days and
yeah,
I come back and I was like, oh my God, like, how was I not even sleeping in the day and all? And
yeah,
plus, if you remember, when I went to at first, I hadn't drank in about 10 years, not
mhm,
even a glass of wine, a bottle of beer, I'd be violently sick.
yeah,
So I knew that probably was gut as well. So when I was on holiday, I could have a beer, I wouldn't go to sleep, I'd be awake till 11, 12. That would be really late for me, like in
yeah.
the night time, 1 o'clock, I'd still get up the next day, no hangover. I'm like, this is mad. And then
And
I went
then
home
that
and
shows, but Annmarie, doesn't that show you how far you had come with your gut? That you
yeah,
were
I could
able to
never
tolerate
drink.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then what happened? Bring you back into your normal environment. And what happens? The toxins started again. You started reacting again. So I suppose if we explain to people that Annmarie went and did functional testing, we decided we needed to look at the environmental aspect of it. And it really did seem to be, from the symptoms that Annmarie was having, it really was kind of clear to me that there was mold or something like that in your environment that was causing you to have these extreme symptoms. Okay, so we looked at doing mycotoxin testing, which is looking at the whole environmental picture. And just to explain to people, this looks at things within our environment. And so again, it can be things like mold and mildew and things that can be in grains because of the way they're grown in the ground. So this is where the food can impact. But so we did the testing, and your testing came back and you had very, very high levels of mold toxicity.
Yeah. And I'd never thought it was anything like that. I'm like, that's mad. But I was sort of relieved because it's been gone on so long that I'm like, I'm not actually mad. Like, thank God, because
all your tests were coming back normal. So in the Western side of things, you're normal. You're just getting these symptoms, and you do probably start thinking like, am I imagining them? Am I what? But your symptoms were real and severe, massively impacting your quality of life. You know, so I suppose to explain to people, it became clear that it was we really knew it was kind of coming from your workplace. We really did have this inkling. We did, didn't we? Because we had gone through everything in your home, and there was
nothing. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't be at, but I did notice in certain areas there was bits of mold, nothing that to write home about. But I was like, oh no, they did get new things built in, like new showers and toilets. So it could have been it was there and it's in the air. And of course, I'm going around cleaning and walking past it.
You were being exposed, weren't you? You were exposed to the spores that were coming from the mold. Hugely.
I never knew it could be. Yeah, I never knew I could be, because I seen like the plumbers and guys going around and they don't know masks and stuff. So I'm like, should they'd have to have masks on them if it was bad, if the area was bad. I didn't realize till you told me the results. I'm like, that all makes sense now. When I look back, I could, yeah. But when I got the results, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we don't think that something like mold is going to have that impact on our health. Sure, we don't. It's not something that's really talked about or educated.
Yeah, it's
and
pure
it's very serious. Very, very serious. Like, I mean, mold toxicity can come back to cancers and a lot of chronic illnesses and neurological conditions. So it's really, really serious. And you can see that impact that it's having you, the way it drains you after you've been in work, even though you're trying to keep away from.
Yeah. It was just amazing that something I couldn't see. I just couldn't see anything to say what's in your exterior environment and stuff. I couldn't see it. So I'm like, I don't know. What am I doing? It's not in my house. I don't know, because I couldn't see it. And then when you gave me the results, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not being in there every day. It hadn't got a clue. I was thinking it's the dog. I'm allergic to the dog. What else can it be like?
Yeah.
But it was actually something. I know it's not simple and it's dangerous, and I'm glad I got it done, because God, like, at least now there's a chance that, I can get rid of it and stuff, and I can be healthy and I can be normal and not tired. When I know I take myself out of the environment, I'm okay.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. And the thing is, it's your livelihood. So it makes it very difficult for you. And for anyone in these positions, it is. But you have to try and do the best you can. But it is important to remember how serious this is on our health. And it's something I think that needs to be spoken about a lot more, because people have a responsibility to make sure that, particularly in work environments, that if there is mold there, that it is dealt with in the right way, because you can't just paint over these things. They have to be cleaned, and you should be very careful when you're cleaning them, because, as you say, no masks, anything, these spores are in the air then impacting your health.
Yeah, but because if someone paints it and you don't see it, then you just don't think it's there. I was like, well, I know it was there, but it doesn't look like it's there now. But obviously it's in the air, so that was a bit of a shock for me.
Yeah, it is. And it's just, I think, because your levels were just so high, it's really frightening, isn't it? Because you haven't been in that workplace for that long. Like, how long have you been in that?
No, no, maybe 2 years.
Yeah. So that just shows the impact that that can have that
So
quickly.
quickly, yeah.
Yeah,
I would have never thought, like never.
Yeah. Yeah, without the testing, you'd still be kind of guessing. And I think for most people, you then kind of saying, oh, can't have that much of an impact on you. It absolutely can, it really can impact your health.
Wiped out,
Yeah.
no life, just barely able to get up and go to work, and then you come home exhausted. Your days off, you don't want to do anything, you're lethargic, you don't want to eat, you're not sleeping right. It's just
Yeah.
crazy, like.
And
And then
you've
as soon as
kept
I remove yourself, grand.
Yeah. And you've kept with your gut health, which is again is really, really important because you need to support your gut health while these toxins are in your body. And right now we're trying to absorb them and clear them out. And it's not an easy process to do. And it
Yeah.
does take time. I suppose, how would you explain to people, like, how do you feel like you can't really just jump in to do these testing, right? Initially, because we need to figure
Yeah.
out what's happening, don't we?
Yeah. But I think if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it right. So obviously I did listen to you. It wasn't like saying, oh, I'll cut down on sugar. I'm like, right, nothing, no sugar, no
Yeah.
coffee. I was like, I can do soups, I can do smoothies, I can do things like you were suggesting and stuff. I'm like, oh, I would die without chipper food or a takeaway. And I actually was like, I don't miss them. Like even
You
now, I
don't,
say to
yeah.
someone, no,
You're
I don't
really
miss them.
enjoying your food, and it's just proper healthy food, like, but it's gotten
Yeah.
you back into that mind frame,
Yeah, but you do feel healthier and stuff. You don't feel sluggish, like,
Yeah.
when I was thinking it was food or gluten or dairy. I'm like, it has to be food, it has to be antihistamine, there's, or allergies and stuff. It
Yeah.
has to be something wrong, but never thought it was.
Yeah. I think that
But
just
glad I
shows,
done it because,
yeah, it
yeah, if
shows
I
the
hadn't
power
done
of
the
that
test, if
testing.
I hadn't done it, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd never thought in a million years, I'd never thought of doing a test. I would have
Yeah.
been like, sure, the place is grand,
Yeah.
the home's
And I think
grand.
it's not
So,
something you would have thought of doing initially, because again, this is where when testing, because functional testing is so beneficial, it is expensive. And I get that. And I hate to see people wasting money on a test that not going to give them the
yeah,
answers. So we needed to work through
yeah,
that process of figuring out what's happening for you to be able to choose the right
yeah,
test. Like, you could have gone and done a histamine and intolerance test, right? And who knows,
yeah,
again, that wouldn't have given us our picture of what's really going on for you. So
yeah, yeah.
it really is about getting into the nitty-gritty and finding out what's happening, what's underneath, so we can.
As well, like you're making like I would have been so uneducated about food, so it would have been, it was actually good that I went that route, because now I go, oh, there's loads of sugar in that, and that's bad for me. And before I'd be like, I hadn't had chocolate in 2 days, or grand, I'll have a
Yeah,
packet of crisps, or so now I'm like, don't need it.
yeah,
Bag of
yeah.
sugar, don't need it.
And you know how you
So
feel
it
if you do have it. You know what impact it's having on your gut health, because you've
so
seen
mixed
that now.
well. Yeah,
Yeah. You
I'm
definitely get to
sluggish, I
see.
don't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to people, Annmarie? What would you, for people who are out there
Uh,
struggling, not knowing what's going on?
oh, definitely got seen to, definitely. As I went to the doctors, it's it's not even the amount of money, but everything was private because of the wait list and stuff. So I'm like, I have to do this. And the doctor was like, I'm sorry, we've let you down. I don't know what's wrong with you. I really don't. We've tried everything, and I'm sorry, but we have let you down. Blood tests, sending me private clinics. And so by going your way, it was the natural way,
Yeah.
by eating healthy foods and stuff. And then I was starting to feel better because my gut was starting to feel better, and then it's a relaxing. I was so stressed, and I was like, oh, it's stress. And then because I was eating healthy, I was starting to rest more and relax more, and I feel that I had good food into me. And then it was I still was tired when I come back from holiday. I thought, I was like, oh, I'm cured when I was away. And then
Yeah.
when I got the slump again, I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
it has to be in my job. It's
Yeah.
not in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just go and get it done. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Plus you're eating healthy as well. So it's a
And it's
win-win, like.
it is worth looking at those alternatives, isn't it? Because we do put all this, and Western medicine just works differently. You know, functional medicine, we need them joined together, because yes, I believe go the natural route. And if that doesn't work, then we look at Western medicine. But like you say, all the money, but the time, and money is important, of course it is. But I think for most of us, time is more important, because we only have this life.
For everything, it was money to see him, it was money to, he's given me a letter that I have to go and ring up, make an appointment. I get the appointment, I have to take time off work, I go and get my test done, I go back to him for the results, give him more money. He's like, no, maybe get this done, and make an appointment. So it did take a good year, like, to go, I don't know what's wrong with you. All your blood tests are fine. No, nothing wrong with you there. So
it's important to
it
think
just,
of the
it
more
didn't work
natural
for me.
things, and kind of back to basics, really, isn't it?
I just think food has got a lot to do with it as well, like, because of the gluten. Like, I know even now if I eat too much bread that I'm not right. But I wouldn't have known this before, because I grew up with having sandwiches every day, and you'd have a sandwich for your lunch or whatever, or your toast in the morning. But I know I have to be careful and how many times I can have bread, like, and it's the same with dairy. I don't eat too much. So my stomach does talk to me now. Before it was just bloated and full and no energy.
See, you understand now, Marie. It's not even your stomach talking to you. You're now totally in tune with your body. So you know what you need to do, because life happens, things get thrown into the mix, life is stressful, we get sick. You know what you need to do when that happens. And now you have the other piece of the puzzle of what actually is causing that fatigue and lethargy, So hopefully that your next protocol now is going to clear this. That's the long-term goal, that we get rid of that toxicity there. We hope that it hasn't caused any long-term damage,
Yeah, please God, But I'm saying, at least I know now. I would have never known by going to my doctor. Like, he wasn't going to go down that route. He was just like, I'm sorry,
it's Western medicine doesn't really look at that kind of thing. You see, they don't have testing that will look at those kind of areas. So I suppose that's the difference. But again, it's why we need to work together, So like, even with your testing, actually, Annmarie, that's the thing. Like, we're using the natural supplements that the testing has recommended, but there was also Western medication that was recommended in that. Now, we understand your GP is not ready to prescribe something like that. This is very different from what he's used to, but it looks at like the testing looks at both sides. It's not just looking at just a natural route. It's giving us both options, doesn't it? So it's opening that door.
No, we'll go with your herbal medication first, see how you got on, and if you need it, come back to me. So he didn't say no, but he was just, because he's not used to it. Like, I was telling him I had mold, he was like, oh, okay, like, we're sorry we let you down. And we did let you down, the system let you down. But so he does know that there is alternatives out there and stuff, and he just doesn't realise what, he's a bit ignorant.
But he's open. He's open to that integrative approach, So the door is opening there for that, So
I know.
And I think that's just it. Exactly. So have you anything else you'd like to say to people, or is there any other bit of advice that you give them?
No, just to go. It might take it a couple of weeks and stuff, just to to get onto the road and eating healthy. And it's not like you can't have treats or you're cut out. Just when you just fix yourself, like, with just natural foods and yogurts and little smoothies, and you feel after day, it might take a couple of weeks, but then when you get there, I don't think you're going to go back to eating takeaways and stuff. So, if there's something wrong with you, go and get it looked at. If you've tried the doctors and stuff and they're not helping, then definitely go.
And even sometimes try that approach first, and when you can't figure that out, sometimes then we might need Western medicine. So thank you for that, Annmarie. Thank you for coming on and speaking to everybody, and for sharing a very personal story. So thank you.
I know. No, you're grand. Good luck. Thanks, Emil.